So we are today only concerned about those insects which are relevant to our field, and more specifically in India. We are not concerned about a bug which is predominantly lives in Amazon rainforest. So what are the common insects that we have to be concerned about, and why? Are they act as a vector of some disease, or it directly causes harm to us? Okay. And lucky for you, in your syllabus only 2 or 3 types of insects are we have to be concerned. Okay. And the major is, so first, why we are studying on entomology, why including it our curriculum? First point, to understand the dynamics, that means how they are spreading the disease. It is obvious we cannot end the total species of that insect, that is not possible, but we can break the chain of transmission. That is why we have to understand the transmission process. Also changing, not evolving, changing insects, they are also getting evolved in that changing climate. You all know cockroaches were present when the dinosaurs were present. Cockroaches are in this world from the era of dinosaurs. Dinosaurs got lost, destroyed, but cockroaches, now the changing climate, they are evolving, so we have to understand their evolution process also. Third, these we can take, if we understand the measures of the dynamics, we can, if we understand the dynamics, we can take measures to break the chain. That is why. And what is the fourth? It is a emerging field of study in One Health. What is One Health? Do you have any idea? Any idea what is One Health? It might come as your short note. That is a emerging topic. So Park obviously does not have any chapter on that, but you have to at least understand what is One Health. One Health is concerned about that healthy environment gives healthy life, nothing else. If our surroundings are healthy, we will be staying healthy. You all know that environment, physical environment, that air, water, radiation, how they affect our health. Now the surrounding living things, if they are also staying healthy, it will contribute to our healthy life. Just remember, if there are some insects destroying the crops, so crops are getting unhealthy, or some diseases we are now seeing in plants. These plants, if we are eating those fruits, they are giving us some disease. The use of microplastics in various things. Now there are accumulation of microplastics in our body. We do not know that, but if we analyze our blood in that level, there are certain amount of presence of microplastic in our body. Even you are drinking cold drinks or some fruit juice, even the maza or what Sprite, not that, slice, everything, those fruit juices, they are also claimed that those contain some amount of microplastics. That is why we have to understand the One Health concept, and One Health concept is a emerging context in our medical field. Okay. So in your case, at least for MBBS examination, where you have to focus, that is your larger learning objectives, that what are the different vector-borne diseases, which are the vectors, and how to identify them. It will most commonly come as a spotter, okay, and there you have to write 1 or 2 distinguishing feature, okay, nothing else. It might be a picture or it might be a model like that. So today's first insect is a mosquito. Think that is a picture of female Anthropophilic mosquito, but think as a general feature of mosquitoes, and we have to understand the different body parts. So first, this in the head there are attached one middle rod like structure. What is this? This is called proboscis, and besides that there are two also same type of rod like structure, but they are usually spotted or colored. These are called maxillary palps. Okay, why they are maxillary palps? Because they are getting erosion from their maxilla. And besides that there are two sensory organs. These we named as antenna. Why these things are getting marked in the picture? Because these are the things, those are different in different types of mosquitoes, nothing else. And these are the wings, this part is head, this part is thorax, and that is abdomen, and last there is the genitalia or terminalia, we termed as cerci. Okay. And mosquito has 6 types of legs, and legs also has distinguished features among distinguished mosquitoes, different mosquitoes. Among these mosquitoes only 3 types are important, 3 types of species are important, that you all know: Anopheles, Culex and Aedes. There are thousands types of mosquitoes which actually do not interfere with our lives. They have different habitat, they have different feeding habits, so they do not interfere with our human lives. These are the main 3 types of mosquito which actually interfere with our lives. That's why we have to understand those, understand and recognize those 3 types of mosquitoes and the different diseases they actually carry. First, the head of the mosquito, this is a larger picture, proboscis. Look, in the previous picture the proboscis was almost of same height, but in reality proboscis is somewhat longer. Okay. These are the maxillary palpi, and we know these as antenna. What is the feeding habit of the different male and female mosquitoes? Male mosquitoes usually lives on fruit or tree sap. We all know tree saps are thicker, so they have longer palpi. Okay. But in female they usually detect blood. Are they feed on blood due to feeding habits? No. Blood is needed for, why blood is needed? Eggs key. Eggs protein. Key. Maturation of the mosquito ovum. Okay. And to detect blood they have shorter pulse, and which can also, the antennas can also distinguish the carbon dioxide. The source of carbon dioxide is obviously has blood. That is there, that's they are evoluted. Jurassic Park e to first হচ্ছে কি একটা মশা থেকে ডাইনোসর ডিএনএ পাওয়া গেছিল, তাই না? That's how the movie started. These are the abdomens which are divided into some segments, or we usually sometimes call them as clusters also, and at the last there are genitalia. Male genitalia has style or clasper, or female we usually say it as a cerci. This is the basic life history of a mosquito. They lay egg on the water. From the egg there is larva, then pupa, and the adult is emerged. What is the usual life span of the mosquito? Asked in NEET PG. Specific mosquito was asked. I am asking in general. Any idea? 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 1 year? Huh? Hours? 1 month usually. Okay. And in NEET PG the lifespan of Aedes mosquito has been asked. Okay. What are the general habits of the mosquito? These are female feeds on human blood. That's why we call them anthropophilic, and animal blood, zoophilic. Male feeds on plant juice. It can be two types, that is endophagic and exophagic. What are their resting habits? That is, they can be endophilic or exophilic. Endophilic means you will usually find them inside your home. These are all are talking about the adult type. Okay, adult mosquito, their habits. Endophilic usually Anopheles, or Aedes mosquito is very much endophilic. Exophilic, it is resides in the outside, usually Culex. Okay. What are the breeding habits? This kind also distinguishes the types of mosquito, and obviously it has to at least have water, say they will breed. Their hibernation pattern also differs from, these vary from mosquito to mosquito types. And dispersal, the range of flight. The range of flight is also asked in the MCQ, okay, in INICET. What the MCQ actually came in a different way. The surroundings of airport, how much is the radius we have to clear as mosquito zone. The question was based on the flight range of the mosquito. We all know in a disease, as per epidemiological triad, there are agent, host and environment. What are the dengue affected areas in our country? This is our West Bengal. This part is, what is this part? Rajasthan or Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan. This almost entire South India. These are the dengue prone areas, and dengue caused by Aedes or Culex. Dengue caused by Aedes mosquito, and if it is affecting that much part of our country, the first thing you have to know today is your Aedes mosquito, okay, also known as tiger mosquito. Why is it that? Because look at this picture, alternate black and white stripes. This is why. Or look at this, the abdomen part also, the leg also alternate white and black stripes are there, okay. The body, what are the, how we will recognize it? The body exhibits hunchback, sits parallel to the surface. That is of the most common area. আমরা ফার্স্টে হচ্ছে যখন দেখতে তো যেতে পারবো না যে হেডটা কিরকম বা কি, মশাটা বসে থাকতে দেখতে পারবো. We can usually visualize the mosquito, okay, it is sits like there. See how it is sitting, we can easily recognize, okay, this is Aedes mosquito, so we have to be careful. Can only Aedes mosquito cause dengue? হ্যাঁ, ডেঙ্গু ভাইরাসের প্রয়োজন নেই. We do not need dengue virus. And what are the chances of a mosquito getting dengue? That we also have to think about. But that's a virus. It can go anywhere to elsewhere. It can aerobic virus. It can live in the open air. That's why we cannot destroy the dengue viruses, but we can restrict the movement of Aedes mosquitoes, because those are visible. We can see that, okay, Aedes mosquito is there, so there might be a chances of dengue. That's why we are targeting these vectors, okay. If it is possible, we will let the mosquitoes live and attack the dengue virus. What are the other diseases it causes? Yellow fever, chikungunya and Zika virus. Yellow fever, there is one expression why you might expect in your exam, that why yellow fever vaccination is utmost importance if you are traveling outside to India. If you are traveling outside to India, why yellow fever vaccine is of utmost importance. অনেকেই হয়তো ফরেন ট্রিপে গেছো, anybody know the answer why yellow fever vaccine is utmost importance of India? in India? ইন্ডিয়াতে পাওয়া যায় না। হ্যাঁ, yes, because our India contains much suitable environment for the yellow fever agent, okay, but only the agent is missing. If the agent is introduced in our environment once, there will be a yellow fever epidemic which we cannot be able to contain. We barely can contain dengue. Yellow fever has much higher morbidity rate or fatality, fatality rate, mortality rates. That's why yellow fever vaccination is of utmost importance if you are traveling to any African country or South American country even from India. You have to show yellow fever vaccination card if you are getting back from those country. Every tourist coming from there to our country have to show yellow fever vaccination card in the airport. Otherwise they actually separated and got quarantined. Either you accept the yellow fever vaccination or go back to your country. Simple rule. In 95 and 96, some prominent cricketer from one prominent African country refused to take the vaccination. They did not get to play. There was some ruckus throughout the geopolitical arena also, that no, this is not right, you have to do it, but our government didn't listen, they sent them back. That's much scrutiny we maintain regarding yellow fever virus, okay. So these are the pictures of male and female Aedes aegypti. Palpi are as long as proboscis in the males and shorter than the proboscis in the females, tipped with white scales. This tipped with white scales, it also has been asked in JIPMAR exam previously, okay. So it is now important also in your INI-CET exams. So white scales, where we seen it, that is Aedes aegypti. Now coming to the breeding place of the Aedes aegypti. Just remember, they usually try to breed in the clean water and artificial water stored in the artificial container. If that question has been asked, you have to answer that these words: water stored in artificial containers. Until and unless you are writing these things, you will not getting the full marks. This is the tray of the fridge. This is a uncovered water storage, and this is the most common, believe it or not. Actually these are the most common site of where we actually find Aedes egg or larva. These tires, we usually do not regard this as okay, it will not contain water, but if it contains even 0.5 cubic of the water, the Aedes mosquito will hatch their eggs there, okay. The water has to be clean, nothing else, and rainwater is the purest form of water. We usually have to deal with two types of Aedes mosquito. One is Aedes aegypti, that you all know, and another is Aedes albopictus. Albo, the word is always the what it is drumming, that is albinism, okay. So what are the local distribution? Aegypti is urban vector, albopictus is peri-urban vector, that is it is not in the urban, surrounding the urban area. Just like here, Muluk. Muluk is at least 4 kilometers away from Bolpur town, 4 to 5 probable. This is a peri-urban area. The blood meal point, what is discordant and concordant? It is not important to you. The tendency to bite humans, this is also what is the nervous type of bite and what is the aggressive bite. If you actually notice any mosquito, if it sits on you, it first, what it did, choose a site that where I will find the highest concentration of blood flow. Then it will pierce your skin. But what albopictus does, they will blindly puncture your skin. Multiple site. যেখানে পাবে, where it will find, okay, this is the highest flow of my 5 piercings, out of my 5 piercings, then it will get your nourishment from there. This type of behavior is specific to them, that's why the biting is also noted. What is the preferred source of blood meals? Aedes aegypti is preferably humans. What is albopictus? It affects humans and variety of vertebrates. What is the nickname? Yellow fever mosquito, it is Asian tiger mosquito, but do not write if it is has been asked, okay. Nicknames are not a difference. What are the breeding habits? That breeds in accumulation of water in artificial or man-made containers. See, what is the favorable temperature? 16 to 30 degrees centigrade, humidity 60 to 80%. What are the usual sites? It has been asked and it will be asked in your spotter. Behind refrigerator or cooler, exterior extension of buildings, earthen pots, coconut shell, broken glass, storage tanks. What are the biting time? These are day biters. That means Aedes aegypti will never bite you in the night time. What is the favorable time? That is early morning and late afternoon. আচ্ছা আর্লি মর্নিং আর লেট আফটারনুনে যারা হচ্ছে একটু ঘুমানোর অভ্যাস আছে তারা সাবধানে থাকবে, ঠিক আছে। মাই পার্সোনাল এক্সপিরিয়েন্স, আমার রেস্টিং হ্যাবিট, দ্য এন্ডোফিলিক অর এক্সোফিলিক. What is Aedes aegypti? That is endophilic. The adults seek dark and quiet places to rest. What is the feeding habit? We already know it is prefer human bloods. So highly anthropophilic. Usually they becomes infective by feeding from day before onset to the 5th day of illness. What is their range? They are usually not that much of flyer type. Do not fly more than 100 to 300 meters. And what is this Aedes aegypti index? In vector management, if it is asked, what is the indicator of successful vector management? This is a MCQ. This kind of MCQs are more and more asking in the INICET questions. So what is the successful indicator? Okay. What is the successful indicator? That percentage of number of houses in a well-defined limited area where breeding places of, what is the indicator name? Aedes aegypti index. And how it is defined? The percentage of number in house in a well-defined limited area where breeding places of Aedes aegypti have been identified in the surroundings. Out of, that means the denominator, out of the total number of houses survey in a area. Remember the exact line, it might come as the next INICET question, okay. Because these kind of questions are now favored by MCQ setters, okay. Now what are the features of the eggs of Aedes aegypti? That is, these eggs are laid in single. These are usually cigar shaped and there are no lateral floats, okay. What is lateral floats mean? In lateral movement, there will be no lateral movement if you watch it. What are the features of the larva? They are suspended in water with head downwards. These are the head and this is the siphon tube. What is the siphon tube? feature their short and stout siphon tube. Okay. Which is the Aedes aegypti? First bench. So that it should be parallel. যেটা lateral আছে সেটাই হবে. Your friend is saying this one. Are you agreeing? Agree or not? Agree. Now this one, is it more parallel or not? Wrong দেখেই চলে যাচ্ছ নাকি?